Thanks for tuning in to the Palm Beach Podcast, a weekly show highlighting people making a positive impact in Palm Beach County. With your hosts, sports chiropractor and athletic trainer, Dr. James Spencer, photographer and art director, Mike Jones. Our show is brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Hopportunities, Indo Board, and Lotus Trips for travel and retreats to Palm Beach County. Hello, and welcome to the Palm Beach Podcast. My name is Mike Jones, hanging out at Media Zone on Singer Island with a couple cool people. Dr. James Spencer, how you doing today?
Always a pleasure to see you, you know that.
And I think there's some sunny blue skies out there today.
And beautiful blue waters.
And I think we have a special guest in the studio with us today, don't we?
Yeah, why don't you introduce yourself, Arina?
Hi, everyone. I don't have a cool title like doctor or Professor Arina. But yeah, just Arina for now. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome to Media Zone. What do you think?
It's really cool. I'm vibing.
Yeah,
I like it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, we like to have, the salt rock lamps and
Yeah,
the cool paint
I love,
on the walls.
Yeah, it's very zen. I feel like you guys need like a green wall, like shrub or something.
Okay. We can make that happen.
Like decorating ideas.
We'll talk to the intern.
Well, we actually put like his wife and my mom in charge of decorating.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
they would love to come in and put plants in here for sure. I just have to remember to water them.
The faux is the new real. So
I like it.
Because I could, a succulent, you have to let it water once a week.
No, I actually get
And that's
a
like as much.
lot of fake succulents and stuff on Etsy.
It's good to know.
So yeah,
I need that.
Yeah,
Because
so,
even once a week, I'm like, what day did I water that
no.
succulent?
I don't think I have a real plant in my house. I don't. No, I go to
It's
Etsy.
very LA of you.
Oh, really? Okay. Who knew? But they have it's a site that I'm sure everybody knows about. And it's just, small, businesses or just artists. And, it's like a platform.
Oh,
for
Etsy?
Yeah, for
yeah.
DIY.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just found their fake flowers being the thing.
Well, speaking of business,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us a little bit about the product that we have on the table today?
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. So, so HERENOW is my company. I started it about 3 years ago. So, the idea behind the line and behind the name and everything was, first of all, the name HERENOW is very, I wouldn't say yogi community, but that's, what a lot of, people in that industry say, hey, be here now. So, in skincare, for me, it was doesn't matter what your journey's been like with your skin, you can start here now. And, and hopefully, this is gonna, help you, improve or, just gonna be your new best thing, new best friend. So it's all natural. I really loved every single aspect of creating this because I wanted to have a more modern and minimalistic feel to a natural products because I felt like everything that's currently on the market is very, kind of rustic, botanical. And, I felt like it wasn't strong enough to actually see results. So there's really nothing in between. You either have to go to dermatology office, to, for SkinCeuticals of the world, or, you got your Whole Foods brands. And like I said, pear, apple, serums that really don't do anything. So yeah, so I wanted to create a product that was, strong enough as the strongest ingredients that they're on the market, but also clean as all the botanical ones. So yeah, hopefully best of both worlds.
Well, that's really what attracted me to your content is when I was looking up a lot of the ingredients.
Yeah, as a doctor.
Sulfate free,
Yes.
paraben free, those are all the things that we look at. So even just no artificial food coloring, stuff like
Right.
that. I think is very quality, and that's something that speaks highly of your product. So
And that's actually one of the feedbacks that I've really been getting from the medical community, especially because a lot of my clients are med spas and doctors' offices. They obviously can read the ingredient list
Yeah, yeah.
and they're like, hey, this is great. And really, I haven't seen this in a body product before. So, the way I formulated this, I worked with 5 different labs across the United States. So, of course, as any new business starting out, uh, initial investments
hmm
was, playing like a large role in this. And I was thinking, well, maybe, perhaps I can outsource this to China. A lot of, small businesses think that, well, maybe we can just, invest in other areas like, marketing, this and that, but get our initial cost down, outsourcing. So I found personally that the more research I was doing with Chinese outsourcing is that it was really impossible for me to control the quality, especially when it comes to like FDA regulations, US standards. Um, and plus, of course, I came across a lot of horror stories where, these companies, worked with manufacturer and they had an issue. They flew to China, and they
Oh yeah.
basically just you heard those
oh
stories,
yeah,
right?
oh
And they
yeah.
yeah, and it was
Even this year, especially like
mhm,
importing stuff from China.
right, and it was a lot easier for them to just shut it down, than actually resolve something. So obviously, for this to be my baby, I didn't want to go through that. So I wanted to play it safe. And of course, for a US company to say that, we're 100% made and manufactured in the United States, I also take a pride in that.
That's
So
really cool.
yeah, so it is smaller. At the moment, I have only one product. But the cool thing about this formulation is it's head to toe. So because the idea behind the product was, you know, it was really made for like the fitness community almost, or like all in one. So I wanted, my, clients, my buyer, to just throw this bottle in their, beach bag, their, fitness bag, whatever bag.
hmm
um, and that's all you need. You know what I mean? Head to toe. So, and again, for fitness community, for example, it is strong enough as like any of the facial formulation for the entire body. So it targets all of the signs of anti-age, all of the signs of aging, um, you know, on the entire body. So that's why you see such a large size of the bottle. It's 8 ounces. But yeah, a lot of my clients use it on their face.
I think it's really cool. And just before we got started in here, telling the story about how you even got started with this, and
Hmm.
kind of your background as far as
Hmm.
let's talk about the nursing stuff that you mentioned.
Sure. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm one of those people that's always like on a constant search of, um, I guess, self discovery and self fulfillment and growth. Um, Again, I don't know if it's ADD talking or it's just personality type, but yeah, I always believe that career should be fulfilling and should be pleasant. You shouldn't be dreading going to work every day. You want to be able to work around the clock and think, wow, I cannot wait to get up tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah, otherwise it's not sustainable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what this was for me. I was going to bed, thinking of, ways to improve, ways to, reach out to my ideal customer. Because, of course, as a new company, you think, wow, I'm going to be the new Kylie Jenner. Or is that the right, is that
Yeah,
the right
yeah. One
Jenner?
of the Jenners. I don't know.
Me neither.
You're
I've
asking the
never
wrong dudes.
I mean, I literally
One of
never
them.
seen I never seen an episode of Kardashian in my life. I know it's
Keep it that way.
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Well,
I know.
they ended too, so
Oh,
you don't
well,
have to worry
okay.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I've never seen an episode of Kardashians, but I know that, one of the ladies, started the skincare company and it's like, $1 billion.
She lied. Actually, she was a multi-million dollar, not billion.
Okay, well, still very, very impressive.
Enough commas.
Yes, enough zeros in her accounts. But yeah, so obviously, it's a new company, you're like, oh my God, that's going to be me,
Yeah.
So when things are just like not that way day one, but again, you learn so much in the journey. You find the ways to improve, you find the ways, and one thing that my husband told me is like, hey, look at this as a career. A lot of companies before, they make it big, didn't have their huge break until they were like, I think you referred to Amazon as being one of them, for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But like I said, for somebody who's always seeking that instant gratification, that's probably been like one of the most difficult concepts to learn. But definitely met a lot of incredible people along the way and, learned a lot about myself. Yeah.
It's a constant evolution, and Mike and I can attest to that. Media Zone version 1.0 to 2.0. It's new ideas, new learning, and Mike could say this as well as I. We've learned a lot over the last year and a half of doing this stuff. So I think that's what it is it's constant growth or constant chase of what is the next evolution of this product or even just evolution of myself.
And one person told me that you have to have this dichotomy of the business that you are today and the business that you want to be tomorrow.
Right.
And there's like this weird balance where like you do have to take care of that business as usual of who you are today, but always be moving towards, because you wouldn't start a business if you didn't want to grow, improve, build the brand, right? And so it's just really interesting to just keep that in your mind that like it's always growing, it's always evolving, it's always changing.
And it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because like, I always found it so interesting, when I have like a down day, I don't know if you guys ever do it. Like I go to YouTube and I listen to like success stories of small business.
Motivation.
And it's really uplifting because I think like the key in every single business, every single industry is get out there as much as you can. That's why, I'm very grateful for this opportunity because every single platform opens a door, and it's, you never know where, your journey is going to take you. So you never know where, you may get a phone call or, DM or whatever. I mean, yeah, the world of like social media and just, is so strong and so unpredictable. Like I get blown away every single day.
Well, I just saw that the Palm Beach podcast passed Joe Rogan, so we're now #1 in the world. Yeah, so sorry, Joe, with your new studio. But I did do some homework, and I would like you to talk about Lumify.
Sure.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Yeah, so basically, the lab that I'm in right now is in Dallas, Texas. So they're one of the leading labs in United States. And probably my fifth or the sixth one that, I've tested and worked with before we had the final product, 2 years later. So it's definitely been a journey and a process. So yeah, it's a patented formula which consists of 9 different ingredients, and it's our secret sauce.
Hey.
Yeah, that's going to be added throughout the line. But yeah.
I like it. It's like the what is it? KFC. They won't tell you like the herbs and spices.
Yes, it's or that bean company,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our secret sauce.
Yeah, you got to hold on to that.
And I think like, you can be relatable to somebody that wants to start a business that might not necessarily be in health or whatever.
No, absolutely.
And like, would you give some advice to somebody that has an idea for a company, whatever it may be? What would be something that you would share with them?
So I guess 2 of maybe like the biggest words of advice is like, look around, and like every single time, you drive in your car and you see like a little restaurant or like a little, I don't know, bubble tea place, that's somebody's small business. And, I mean, that's, thank goodness, in Florida we're, still blooming in the small businesses. We don't have that many chains. We have a lot of one-off, boutique places and small businesses, and they're, flourishing. So, like for me, that's the way I looked at it. I'm like, hey, everybody started somewhere. You know what I mean? And like I said, not everybody took off, day one. And if that's something that, because we all have inner voice, and if something feels so right, like, we'll spend, probably half of our day, talking, having a conversation with ourselves, like, okay, and if something feels so right and so true, then I don't believe in like any kind of societal pressure of this is what you should be doing at this point in your life. Because I've, in the world of, 2020, everybody's journey is not created equal. Like, you don't have to finish, 6 or 8 years of education, to make six figures. You know what I mean? You can start small and just being, a hustler, and just being, great at what you do, passionate, and, really believe in your projects. I feel you can succeed the same or even more. So yeah, I feel like we definitely live in a world where, different rules apply.
And I remember when I was taking a certification, one of the instructors said, "Who do you talk to every day?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through my Rolodex of people, and he's like, "You guys are all wrong. It's yourself."
Yeah.
And he really said, you got to focus on quit doubting yourself and have full
Mm-hmm.
confidence.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something rare that a lot of people may resonate with, is just go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, I'm also aware with the fact that, you know, probably, this is not going to be like my final product that, is going to like make me, like what I envision this company to be. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's a journey. It's probably, hopefully when we get back to like normal schedule, the world reopening, I feel like people are very eager, to get back to work right now, and, which is great. Mm-hmm. And, I had a lot of really good response. And especially, like I said, online, because when you mentioned, your podcast and everything, I definitely see, digital space being the future. And, things are going more and more digital because I definitely think a lot of companies saw, perhaps the lack of online presence, in their small businesses, and they had to restructure, in the last 6 months. Because, like, if you were just like a mom and pop store, and you realize, hey, we don't have any traffic. Okay, what can I do? Or doctor's offices, spend the last 6 months, selling products, online. Okay, if you cannot give Botox injections, you know what I mean?
Now what?
Now what?
Well, I think everyone's got really good at Zoom meetings. Like, whoever bought Zoom stock
exactly.
in like last December, whoever
Yeah.
bought into Zoom is probably laughing right now,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what one of our podcast guests said. He said that Zoom is probably the largest growing company right now. And he's like, too bad we didn't all invest last
Yeah.
year.
But it's a recurring theme that we see with all the guests. And I mean, obviously, we're not inviting like Walmart and Publix in on the Palm
Right.
Beach podcast.
Yes.
But everyone understands, like, if you look at our last 35 episodes,
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs, people that are in the community supporting each other. And it's like so cool. Like, I see everyone sharing each other's stuff, tagging,
Right.
promoting. And it's like the best way right now for all of us to not be stuck in that 9 to 5 where you feel stuck. And I know we talked to you about that before, where like you had a career choice that was like, oh, like it's really wearing me down and
Right.
I'm not fulfilled and it's too much pressure. You can do this and build your own dream in your own life and not be building someone else's.
Absolutely.
And it's just really, really cool to see an idea on a napkin turn into something so much more.
Well, I feel like, again, it's such a generational mindset because, when we spoke on the phone, I was saying like, I was a super young mom when I had my daughter. I had my daughter at 20. So I'm a millennial myself and my daughter's Gen Z. So she's, always laughing. She's like, "Oh my God, mom, your generation are like such a podcast people. Like, like that's all you guys do is like drive around in a car, you spend your life in a car, like listening to podcasts. You know what I mean? It's definitely like our generation, we're huge, on like auditory, like learning, and I do look at podcasts, like you learn so much from your peers, whether it's business, or whether it's health or relationship advice, like whatever you're seeking, it's out there.
Well, I know when I would drive to Miami for the 2 hours that it takes, hour there, hour back, I don't want to just listen to music, and I love
Yeah,
music, but I also like learning.
of
And
course.
somebody's gonna say something just like on this podcast that may resonate with the
Mm-hmm.
next person.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why we gravitate to that, because we're
Mm-hmm.
under the constant exploration of growth
Mm-hmm.
and getting better.
Yeah, our parents had to have a 60-year career and then
Yeah.
retire.
Mm-hmm.
I could bet that any of us, we could look at every single one of our friends and they're not doing the same job from when they were 20
Mm-hmm.
to where they are now, right? And I don't think you should have to. Like, I think that was a societal norm,
Mm-hmm.
but now the world is a different place, right? And the internet has probably been the number one catalyst in teaching your mind that there's more out there. And whether that's for the good or bad, we'll find out one day. But I think it's cool that we don't have to feel so stuck
Mm-hmm.
in life. And if you can just, listen to your inner voice, like you said, it's so much better to be like, I'd much rather be earning way less doing something that I love
Oh,
than
100%.
like being stuck in some corporate
Yeah,
environment
no,
or a desk
100%, without
50
a
hours a
doubt,
week, right?
without a doubt. But like for me, like I mentioned before, the generational stigma and standards. Like for example, for if you talk to a baby boomer, and you would tell them, hey, I have a skincare company or have a podcast, and they would be like, but what do you actually do?
Yes.
What's your like actual job, or like what do you want to do when you grow up? You're like, no, this is actually what I do and I love it. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, our mindset definitely plateaus, every like 10 or 20 years. So, but no, I'm very happy, in my space, in my zone right now. I'm, happy with, my circle of friends, my lifestyle, my job, family, everything. But again, you have to make those conscious choices because, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, because I feel like people oftentimes make digital space making, they make digital space this evil, boogeyman, like, oh my God, things are out of my control, fake news, well,
TikTok,
yeah, I mean, everything. Like I said, they make it this, like corporate boogeyman that's just brainwashing us on daily. And I don't 100% disagree, but I also feel like, we have so much power to, be selective on, what you see. It's like choosing your group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose your content. You can choose your, with everything, the things you subscribe for, then the Instagram algorithm, learns, okay, so this is what you click on, this is what you like. This is how many seconds you spend, watching this video. So you're going to see more of the similar videos. So it's in your power, you know what I mean, to create more of similar, learning or content, if that's, what you gravitate toward.
And I would even like add on to that there's a powerful thing of the addition by subtraction. Sometimes you need to remove things from your life and it will add more value.
100%.
Whether it's a person or a lifestyle choice, removing something can actually add value. And it's a weird thing.
And even like I've noticed this, a couple of my mentors have said, like when you do that, when you take something away that may be draining you creatively or energy wise, it reduces your flow or the flow state. And I think when you remove that and you start to get back into the zone, you start to become a little bit more attractive to the people who you want to be around as well.
For sure.
Don't you call them energy vampires? Isn't that your
Yeah.
quote?
I do.
Yeah.
That's from the book The Energy Bus. If you haven't read it, definitely do
I
it.
haven't, no. But I just don't like the whole victim mentality. I feel like, we all have, so many hours in a day. And, you can only ride, that excuse so far. It's like, oh, my partner is stopping me from, achieving my dream. Or, my boss is, holding me back from really, flourishing on a job. I mean, these are all excuses. I mean, you're your own boss, you're creator of your reality, and you can be inspiring to your partner or your boss. You don't have to take the back seat, what I mean, of your life,
Yeah.
and wait for something to be done for you by someone else.
Well, now that we've covered all the nitty gritty and the business and the life stuff,
Yeah,
let's get you to say a few things about Palm Beach County. What are some
sure.
places, some beaches, some restaurants,
Yeah.
bars, places that you like to go?
So, like I told you guys before, I always lived in big cities. So I never mind driving for a good experience. Like I've never stayed in my zip codes, just because I hesitated, 20-minute, 30-minute, 40-minute drive. Like, if I feel like having a beautiful experience, for ladies who lunch, with my friends, we go to St. Ambrose a lot in Palm Beach. I really like it for like it's kind of like old New York glam. I told you I love all things outdoorsy, so they have like a beautiful terrace seating. I go to Miami once or twice a week. I love Four Seasons. Well, before COVID, they had a really beautiful jazz bar, kind of like old Havana style, which such a cool and like not South Florida scene, actually very California.
It'll come back.
You'll be back, yeah. And then it depends. I have different friends like for different things, so I do stay in Boca quite a bit. One of my favorite places in Boca is Il Molino. So they're also from New York. I'm a big pasta eater myself, so love my Italian. So that place actually started as a pop-up a couple of years ago, and then they just had such a like lovely welcome in our community that I think they stayed. Yeah.
I like it. I gotta throw out Santucci's in West
Oh
Palm.
yeah, yeah,
I love that spot.
yeah. They're
For the
cool.
pasta, right? And the stories.
Oh,
I
definitely.
love the pasta.
Definitely.
Yeah, and there's one coffee place that I just found in Boca. It's called Carmela. Again, like very
Unfamiliar.
yeah, like very cool, like bohemian vibe, like like little poofs, like all the cool coffees that they're making, like pastries. Yeah, definitely a cool spot.
Well, speaking of coffee, our studio is sponsored by Pump House Coffee Roasters. So if they don't have Pump House, we might not go. Only joking, but we do love those guys. They look after us, and they're
Awesome.
really good. And as well, Mighty Swells. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that's delicious. I told the guys, so I actually call a lot of my friends Peaches. Like, hey Peaches. So like this is why I chose a peach flavor.
I love it.
So they're out in Austin, Texas, and they've been good to us as well. So we do appreciate all that. And I think it's the time of the show for you to thank some people
Mm.
who helped you get to where you're at today.
So definitely, of course, my mom. And one of the words that one of the things that really resonated with me that she told me is don't live for pleasure in your life, live for true happiness. And for me, looking back at a year and seeing that I have accomplished something gives me the most satisfaction and happiness and fulfillment, rather than countless nights that you can't remember of like instant gratification and pleasure. So yeah, so definitely my mom, my best friend.
Kudos to mom on that one.
Yeah,
Kudos to
definitely.
mom. Yeah, my best friend, she actually owns a beautiful salon in Bell Harbor. You guys got to check it out. It's called
Ooh.
Red Markets.
Yeah.
So yeah, they always do my glam for different things. And of course my family, my daughters are also always my inspiration. And They keep me in line. They keep me in check.
You got to be grateful for them.
Yeah, and
Yep.
my husband too. He's always been, the best support, and yeah, a word of wisdom always.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can thank you very much for coming on the Palm Beach
Yeah,
podcast.
no, thank you for having me.
And thanks for the product.
Sure.
cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
enjoy. Cheers, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Palm Beach Podcast, brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Indo Board, and Lotus Trips for travel and retreats to Palm Beach County.